Frank D. Murphy was a first-team All-American in high school. Plus, he was the MVP Offensive Player of the Year. He was a star player at Kansas State University. He also played in the NFL for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Miami Dolphins, the Houston Texans, and the Chicago Bears. Now, Frank D. Murphy is a motivational speaker, best-selling author, and program writer for athletes. Frank mentors young men and women all over the world through his nonprofit organization called Mentoring with Purpose Charity. And now, here is your host of the show, Frank D. Murphy.
I don't want you to know me today as Frank D. Murphy, the NFL player. I don't want you to know me as Frank D. Murphy, the NFL player that played for the Bucs, Miami Dolphins, Houston Texans, Chicago Bears. I don't want you to know me as the guy that played college for Kansas State University and still got the record at a 4.22 40 and a 42-inch vertical. I don't want you to know I'm still one of the fastest guys that ever entered the NFL, top 5. I don't want you to know me as that today. I want you to know me as a guy who never gave up. I had an opportunity to give up, and I never gave up. Everybody in this room will have an opportunity to give up. The question is, will you give up? Everybody in this room gonna have an opportunity to give up, and the question is, will you give up? I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to press upon you. That's why I'm here. And everywhere I go, you guys, everywhere I go speak, I speak all over. Everywhere I go speak is something that's in common. Everybody say, man, Frank, man, the wealthiest place in the world, where it's at, man, in Africa with the diamonds or Iraq because of the oil. I'm telling you, the wealthiest place in the world is in your backyard, in your environment. Because, see, it was athletes supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now, but their purpose went to the graveyard. There was athletes that's supposed to be giving back to their community, but their purpose went to the graveyard. There was pastors that supposed to be preaching the word, but their purpose went to the graveyard. It's coaches that supposed to be mentoring the next generation, but their purpose went to the graveyard. My job today is make sure your purpose don't go to the graveyard. My job today is to make sure your God-given purpose don't go to the graveyard. Because if your purpose go to the graveyard, you just cheated your next generation. And I refuse on my clock to cheat my next generation. You guys are my next generation, and I can't cheat you. See, my purpose visit the graveyard, but it didn't live there. It didn't set up resident there. So that's why my topic today is going to be purpose. I'll be talking about purpose. I'm going to talk about 3 things that can stop your purpose from going to the graveyard. See, because not knowing your purpose is just like not knowing your name. I'm going to say that again. Not knowing your God-given purpose is just like not knowing your name. First thing you need to know, what purpose means. Purpose means the original intent for something. The original intent for something. So the first thing I'm going to have for you, the first thing I'm going to talk about is what's your reason. People may tell you football your reason. Football not your reason. Football is a part of you. It's not all of you. And that's the mistake that a lot of athletes make. They put all their eggs, all their hope, all their dreams, all their vision into football. So when football go to the graveyard, you go to the graveyard with it. And we can't do that. We can't do that. Football is a piece of you, not all of you. This is what they tell you. Talent. Don't get talent mixed up with your purpose. Talent, you can catch the ball, you can get sacks, you can throw a touchdown. Hey, you can run the rock, you can make the tackles, interceptions, whatever. That's your talent. That's not your purpose. Talent. See, a lot of times I notice people will try to minimize your purpose in that moment by telling you talented. What that mean, Frank? They tell you talented, man, you baller, man, you a baller, you got it going on, you doing your thing, boy. All that time you focus just on your talent. Your whole life you focus on your talent and you forget to connect with your purpose, the reason why you really here. Now, I'm gonna ask you to do something when you go home. This gonna help you find your purpose. Because your purpose have to be something not just all about you, how much money I can make, what I can buy for myself. Your purpose got to be able to help others. So when you go home today, I want you to write down what you're passionate about. Passion is directly connected to purpose. You put passion under the wrong purpose, that's dangerous. You put your passion under the right purpose, that's success. Go home and write down, what is it that you can do that you don't have to get paid for? And it can't just be sports. What can you do you don't got to get paid for? What do you think about on a regular basis? But remember, it has to be to help somebody else. It can't be all about you. It got to be to help somebody else. You got to understand that your purpose is not known fully. It's discovered. And the reason why I got to tell you that, because it's not just going to happen overnight. You finding out what you really called to do here on this earth is not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to discover it. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I remember playing, dude. I went to Miami. I played for the Miami Dolphins. And I went to the Miami Dolphins. And I said, oh, man, you know, it's the night before the game, man. They put us in a hotel. We always by ourselves. You know, we always have a room by ourselves, man, so we can relax and all that. They overbooked the hotel. Of course, I'm mad now. Because, man, I want a room by myself so I can focus the night before the game, so I can look over my plays, I can walk around. You know how we do. Get in that zone, get ready to ball tomorrow. So I had to have a roommate. I walk in the room, man, dude on my bed, my lucky bed. I like to be by the window. I had everything planned out. So as I'm taking my clothes out my bag, I noticed he kept staring at me. So I kept looking like, dude, what? I say, man, you good, bro? He was like, yeah, man, I just want to know how you did it. How I did what? How you made it, man. I read stories about you. How you made it to this point. He said, because I'm on cocaine every day and I don't know how to stop. And I need your help. That's when I started realizing I got a purpose other than football. Football was just a platform. My purpose was to impact the next generation and all those that come around me. This whole time I'm thinking, man, I want a room by myself. But see, God was setting that up so I can mentor him. I seen him some years later, man, off drugs. Was balling out. You got to know your purpose. And I'll never forget, man, the NFL, I popped my Achilles. And the NFL kind of, you know, was looking down on me. He got to pop Achilles. I don't know if he can run like he or cut or his explosiveness is not there. So I went to Canada to prove to them. I went to Canada to say, I'm going to show them that I still got it. And, man, on the way to Canada, I get in the room, just get to Canada, get in my room, sitting down, hollering at everybody. My phone ring. And it was the GM. He say, Frank, do you mind taking a pay cut? I say, man, I just got here. I just got up here. I ain't taking a pay cut. He said, well, we're going to have to let you go. Instantly, I got mad. I was upset. But something clicked. Something say, you know what? Turn the attention off you and see who you can help. See, that was my purpose, guys. That was my purpose. See, all sports was a platform to help others. So I walked around and talked to all the guys, all the players. They say they good. Then the limo came and got me. I got in the car with the limo man. I say, hey, man, yeah, take me to the back to the airport. He say, man, we just picked you up. I was like, yeah, man, I don't know. They could have told me this before I got here. I said, I don't even know why I came. He said, I do. I was like, what? He said, I do, because I was just finna commit suicide until I had to come pick you up. Listen, guys. This thing bigger than sports. And see, all the NFL talk about is protecting their shield. You can't protect their shield if you don't even know your shield. This thing bigger than sports, man. Will you leave a legacy? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Are you trying to be popular and famous, or are you trying to leave a legacy? And see, before I go any farther, I want y'all to do something, man. Because see, you come in this room, man, your cup full. Your cup full. And I can't get nothing else in your cup if your cup full. Your cup full of speculation, opinions, bad experiences on the field, off the field. In order for you to see the light of day and see the truth, you got to empty your cup, man. I'm finna fill your cup up for these next 15 minutes. I'm finna fill your cup up with truth, light, understanding, so you don't make the same mistakes I made. You don't get wrapped up in the things I got wrapped up in. See, your environment will try to teach you your purpose. What you mean, Frank? Your environment will try to teach you your purpose. See, the environment purpose is to keep you there. So you start selling drugs, if that's the environment you in. So you start carrying firearms. See, my Pop Warner coach said, man, all y'all come here and take a knee. All right, we're like, all right, coach, take a knee. He say, some of y'all gonna be dead. Some of y'all gonna be in prison. Some of y'all gonna be on drugs. Some of y'all gonna be selling drugs. That's what he told us. And see, that's why I step up in here now, because I want to make sure that don't happen to y'all. The same thing the Pop Warner coach told me, I want to make sure that don't happen to y'all. Number 2, what's the plan for your purpose? You can know your purpose, but see, a failed plan is a plan to fail. A plan means a detailed proposal. You must write a detailed proposal for your purpose. If you don't write a detailed proposal for your purpose, you'll never know the steps to get there. I didn't write a detailed proposal, so my environment did. And that's why I don't want this to happen to y'all. My environment told me, Frank, you got to sell dope. Frank, you got to carry firearms. Frank, you got to, shootouts. Frank, you got to do it. That's what my environment told me. And I found myself incarcerated at 15. All my dreams gone. And while I was incarcerated, y'all, I was squatting mats, doing push-ups and sit-ups. I'm facing 10 to 15 years. And they used to be laughing like, man, why you doing all that? Man, because I'm going to the NFL. They say, boy, do you know where you at? You ain't going to no NFL. My environment tried to shape me to say, you got to do these things. You got to sag. You got to smoke. You got to do all these things to fit in. Come on, man. Which one of y'all going to step up and be a real role model, not a fake role model? Which one of y'all going to be a leader out of the pack like I am? Because I make more money doing what God called me to do now than I did in football. You got to understand that, man. Last one. You got to know what bars are holding you back. Before you fulfill your purpose, what bars are holding you back? Is it your attitude? Is it because you're lazy? See, I had real live bars holding me back from my purpose. But you ain't got the real live bars. What's holding you back? Are you going to look back and regret what you did yesterday? See, the scout told me, I walked in front of the scout. Scouts looked at me and they kept looking up and down. I'm like, dog, what they gonna say? I mean, I'm ready. They say, man, we don't know if we can draft you. I was like, what? They kept looking down at my resume. That's my record. All the mistakes I made. They say, we don't know if we can draft you. And when they told me that, dog, this is what I want y'all to do. This is what I want y'all to do. When y'all go through something, it's called a mirror drill. Every time something go on in your life, I want you to go to the mirror. When somebody hate, things go wrong, I want you to go to the mirror. The mirror, it reflects what you're saying. It shows you. I want you to go to the mirror. And that's what I did. I say, man, it will not stop me. I will still get drafted. I got in the mirror and encouraged myself. See, the mirror is not just to reflect what you see, it's to correct what you see. Will you correct the bars that's holding you back? Don't bring your past into your presence and destroy your future. Don't bring your past mistakes into your presence to destroy your future. Guys, I talked about 3 things. What's your reason? What's your plan? What bars are holding you back? See, they told me I wouldn't graduate from high school, I wouldn't even be living. I did. They said that boy ain't going to college. I did. That boy ain't going to no NFL. I did. What statement will you make and you say I did behind it? Will you let your environment dictate your purpose and your plans? Will you let your bars hold you back? Today is a new day, bro. I need y'all to step it up today and answer these questions when you go home, because it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life on the field as well as off the field. I want y'all to repeat something for me. I want y'all to say I can. I need you to be loud. I'm going to tell you to say I can. I'm going to tell you to say I will. And I'm going to tell you to say I must find my purpose. You ready? You got to be loud for me now. I can. I will. I must. Know my purpose. Let's do it again. I can. I will. I must. Know my purpose. That's what I'm talking about. It's your time, baby. Let's get it. It's your time. This year is your time. Not just the ball out on the field, but it's your time to find out what's your purpose in life. So you don't go through life and living your purpose through somebody else. I don't need no more copy machines. We got enough of them in the store. Don't be a copy machine. It's your time. It's your time. Now I'm going to ask y'all, man, any questions and answers. I'll give you the answers to any questions.
Did you grow up with a father figure, and did it help you like to get where you are now?
Now, I grew up with my mom and dad. They was married 40 plus years. And my dad passed away in 2009. But of course, doing all my sports career, he was there. He didn't know nothing about football though, but he was there. And I tell a lot of people, because the neighborhood I stayed in, nobody really had parents. They dad wasn't there, their mom wasn't there. And this is what I try to encourage you. Look, you can use that as an excuse, because a lot of people do. But I don't let you. When you're around me, I don't let you use that as an excuse. Because at the end of the day, you got to understand, if mom ain't there, if daddy ain't there, it's not who you come through. It's who you come from, man. And you got to build yourself up and know that there's going to be bumps in the road just like that to make you quit. That's another opportunity for you to make an excuse and quit on finding your purpose. There's coaches. There's people around here that you can latch on to and learn a lot from. So to answer your question, I had my mom and dad, but I do understand the importance of having parents and guardians and coaches stepping into that spot when they need to be filled.
In life, you go through many trials and tribulations. What are some things that you went through that you thought like, dang, I want to make it to the next step or make it to the next level?
Man, I think in junior college, I went to junior college. I got kicked out of my first junior college, then went to the second junior college. And at that second junior college, I got incarcerated again for the second time. And I was facing another 10 years. They say I was carrying firearms, having shootouts, and I'm in college. At that time, when I got incarcerated the second time, I thought it was over. But guys, I'm telling you, people can say what they want to say, man. I know it's a God that gave me a second chance. So when I went to trial and won trial, I got out and I went back to the coach and I said, hey man, I'm back. They tried to get me to leave. I said, no, you told me you'd give me an opportunity if I was found not guilty. They had an all-star running back, rushed over 2,000 yards, recruited by everybody, 30 plus touchdowns. You know what I did? I went home that summer. I grabbed the Florida State workout and I did it on my own every day. And I put my little brother 10 yards in front of me when I did the track workout to make me run faster. So I get a call about a week before we have to come back. It's the coach. He say, Frank, you been working out? I say, yeah, I'm ready to compete. I don't care who you got. I'm not stopping. He said, well, that guy got kicked out of school. The president had to let him go. So you need to earn that spot. I say, it's done. What if I would have quit? What if I would have went home and got lazy? See, I wouldn't have been prepared for the opportunity. So when I went back, you guys, I won the Heisman Trophy in junior college. All the junior college, I was #1 recruit in the nation, won the Heisman Trophy. Had scholarship offers from everybody, Florida State, everybody. And I turned them down and went to Kansas State because I didn't want to go back home to my environment in Florida. But yeah, man, I thought it was over for me. I thought my life was over, but I persevered. And I say that to everybody in here, if you got a purpose, you got to persevere and you got to fight for what's yours. You got to fight for your purpose, man.
You talked about God a lot in your speeches. I wanted to know where in your life did God become like that most important part that just kept you going?
I was raised in the church. My mom and them, you know how it is, man. Go to church, man, all the time. But I ain't really pay attention to it at the beginning because like all of us growing up, man, you want to do your own thing. You want to be cool. You just want to do your thing. And sometimes the wrong peer pressure get involved. So I had the wrong peer pressure in my life, and I went through all these things that I just talked about, from incarceration all the way up until I got to Kansas State. And when I got to the NFL, I felt like God started really working on me. Like, I got something bigger for you. And you keep thinking that the NFL is all I got for you. That's just a little small piece of your life. You only can play in the NFL for the average NFL player is 3 years. You'll get a lucky guy like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, but you know that ain't everybody, dog. That's a small percentage that can stay in the league 15 years. So as time went on, man, I was playing and I just stopped. I just stopped everything. The women, all the bad stuff that I was doing, all the things that was trying to take my life and take my purpose away, I just woke up one day and say, I'm done. I want to try you and see what's right. And everybody got their own different things that you believe in, something higher than you, but I began to do that. And then when I went to Miami, all my homeboys thought that we was finna go kick it and do our thing when they see me walk in the locker room, because I used to kick it. I used to buy the bar out, all that stuff, throw parties. So when I walked in the locker room, they all started, oh, they go Murph time. And I say, nah, man, I ain't going out tonight, man, but y'all, if something happened to y'all, call me, I'll come get you. You know, I'm down for you. I didn't rub that in their face because I changed my life. I just let my light shine. I never once told them I was even a Christian. They began to start pulling me aside, asking me questions, telling me to pray for them. I became a leader in that locker room. Everybody started looking up to me. So that's why I'm telling you, if you be yourself, man, if you find out your purpose, people gonna look up to you. You ain't even gotta be like them. Dude, I became more popular on doing the right thing than when I was doing the wrong thing. So yeah, man, that's when he really started working on me. And when I got to Miami, I really became that role model.
Like, how does it feel to keep, like, how you kept switching colleges, and, like, do you ever, like, self-doubt yourself?
I knew I was good, because in high school, I was All-American in Florida. That's hard to do in Florida, state of Florida. I was All-American. I was MVP, Offensive Player of the Year in my county, you know, in Jacksonville. And, you know, we got a lot of athletes calling Jacksonville. So I knew I was good, but I think I started doubting was it for me, because I kept making mistakes. My mistakes started making me doubt, because I made this mistake. Do I really supposed to be doing this? Because I made that mistake. Do I really supposed to be playing ball? I started doubting myself because of my own mistakes. So sometimes you guys, you got to understand that mistakes you make will try to get you to doubt your purpose or a piece of your purpose, like playing NFL or playing in college. So I doubted myself a couple of times, but then that wore off because I started to see the light that, man, if I don't identify my purpose, somebody gonna do it for me. So once I knew my purpose, I got encouraged, I got stronger. And that's what made me held on once I knew my purpose, because I knew I had a calling. I knew I had a life. So.
What is something you do to get rid of peer pressure?
I started to talk to myself, and I know this sounds crazy, man. I would go, when peer pressure would come, I would go and start asking myself questions. Like, you know, let's smoke something. Let's do this, let's do that, let's drink something. And I used to go and say, will this hinder my purpose of playing ball? Will this hinder or cost me my dream? And I started to ask myself that. And when I asked myself that, I had to answer the question real. I had to be real to myself. Some people try to be real to your peer pressure. What about being real to yourself? Because them same dudes, like, let me tell you, all these dudes in my neighborhood did all this stuff. And I'm not saying I ain't do none of the stuff either, but when I stopped, they used to keep coming back to me. Hey, Frank, nah, man, I don't really do that no more. Dude, they started hating on me and all this, but I look back 5 years from now, 5 years after that happened, they still in the hood. Some of them dead, some of them locked up for life. Dude, you got to see where you going. If you don't see where you going, peer pressure going to pull you back. Peer pressure is one of the #1 dream killers in our society. Don't let peer pressure kill your dreams, man, because you only get one. If people don't care about their dreams, they're going to try to get you not to care about yours. So, man, make sure peer pressure don't kill your dream, because it almost killed mine. I got a son, too, dog. My son, 9th grade. You know, he started as a 9th grader, and he was at Strawberry Crest. Of course, they horrible. So I mean, just being real, and good educational school. But I want him to focus on his education, his 9th grade. So, you know, he faced a lot of peer pressure because they wanted him, oh man, you trying to be like your dad, you trying to do this. And I had to talk to him. I was like, man, you got your own purpose. You can't be like me. You better be greater than me. You better be better than me. So sometimes, man, you got to find somebody who's going to encourage you to stay with your purpose and not with peer pressure. Get around people, man, that's going in the same direction. Now my son around boys that's trying to make it to the league just like him. They work every day. When before, his little homeboys try to sneak in there, one guy want to smoke, want to do this. My son come and told me. I said, what you going to do? He said, it's a wrap. He done. I ain't hanging with him no more. They ain't going to help me get where I'm going. And that's the same way y'all got to think about it.
What kept you moving and What kept your head straight when you lost it? Like when you took a loss in your family?
When I took a loss in my family, that was huge, bro. But you know what? You know, the whole time I knew that he left a legacy. That's what kept me strong, that I knew he left a legacy for me, which means he told me things I needed to hear to be the man I am today. He told me key points of what I need to do to be successful, not just on the field, but off the field. You know what I'm saying? He taught me how to make sure I pray. He taught me these things, man. And that's what made me feel like, you know, when he left, my dad, I was like, really, my dad was older. So I was like, man, it's really not trying to say it in a mean way. He fulfilled his purpose. There's no more need here for him. Now, I understand people leave a lot faster. My homeboy got killed right before the draft. So I ain't really care about the draft because I was so focused on him. That hurt. But what I realized, I flipped that thing that was bad and turned it for good and say, you know what, this is who I'm going to use to encourage me when I don't feel like lifting. You got to find out your why. You got to have some whys in your pocket so when time get tough, you can take that same person that may have passed away and say what they want you to do, what decisions they want you to make. And I began to do that too, and that helped me along the way when my homeboy passed. Your whys, man, to carry you a long way. When I was incarcerated, I had to keep asking myself why I'm still doing push-ups and sit-ups and they telling me I'm finna do 10 years. And everybody laughing at me around me. But my why kept me focused.
When did you start talking to students?
When I started speaking, my first year with the Bucks, I was with Chicago at first. I got drafted by Chicago. I was a running back, drafted as a running back that first year, and then I got a call, and it was Coach Dungy. And it was Mark Dominant, the GM at the time. He was like, man, we want to bring you to Bucks, but the kids, we're going to move you to receiver. I'm like, man, I ain't never played receiver in my life. They was like, we'll work with you. We just really think how fast and how big you is because we already got Mike Allstar. We already got Ward Dunn. So when I got to the Bucks, a guy by the name of R.V. Brown, he's a motivational speaker too. He say, man, I want all y'all to come here. I want y'all to come help these kids, and I want y'all to come motivate these kids. So everybody on the team was like, yeah, we'll be there, R.V., we'll be there. Man, it wasn't nobody but me. I was the only one showed up. So me and R.V. standing there, I was like, man, nobody else ain't coming. I thought they was coming. He was like, man, it's just me and you. And I was like, man, I don't know what to talk about. I was going to kind of just like hide behind the rest of the veterans and stuff. And then I got put on the spot. And that was my first time really getting into speaking. Was the first year that I came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and R.V. Brown had me speaking. And I just let it go. And then I realized too, I needed to practice. I needed to work on things. So I started preparing every time I spoke, and I just got better. Hey man, thank y'all again for having me out. Once again, man, anytime I can speak to you guys or enlighten you guys or encourage and empower you guys, I love it, man. I love intriguing our next generation to be great, man, because I know it's greatness on the inside of you. And I know so many times, man, society put these bars on you and put these things on you to do, man, and become. But man, I'm telling you, don't let nobody live a fantasy through you. I'm gonna leave you with that. Don't let nobody live a fantasy through you. When I was out there catching that ball, running that ball, doing kick returns, the fans cheered me on. But guess what? When I get hurt, the next person come in, they cheering them on. They living a fantasy through them now. Fan is short for fantasy. So the fans gonna cheer you on till somebody else go, and then they're gonna live their fantasy through them. Don't let nobody live a fantasy through you. I'm gonna leave you with that. Don't let nobody, no female, no situation, no circumstances live a fantasy through you. All right? All right, man. Thank y'all.
I would, because I feel like he touches on so many different parts that are realistic and make sense and understandable, that can relate and hit home, that I feel like every athlete and everybody who wants to go somewhere and wants to be anything, not just in sports, should at least, hear what he got to say and listen to different points that he has.
Basically, my highlight was how he emphasizes how we have to be a leader in society, basically, and not be a copier.
I appreciate you having me out, man. Thanks for the opportunity, man. But I want to ask you some questions from the day sessions that we just did. How do you believe the day session helped out your athletes?
I think today's session was tremendous help because we talk to our young men all the time about a lot of the topics that you touched on today, but hearing it from us versus hearing it from a guy that's reached the pinnacle of what they're all dreaming and aspiring to be. They all want to be like Frank Murphy, the NFL player, the college player, the high school All-American. Hearing the trials and tribulations and hearing that guy went through stuff just like I did, that guy faced some of the things that I did, and then giving them some strategies and ways to overcome, I think was so impactful.
But Coach, I also talked to the players, and I heard them talk about how it impacted them. How did today's session about purpose impact you as a coach?
Man, I sat in and I listened just like they did, because it's something that I think a lot about, in regards to myself as far as purpose and why am I doing this. And this is something that we talk to our kids a lot about, and we put it in as far as what is your why? What's your why? And listening to you speak and talk to them really just kind of allowed me to sit back and kind of really reflect on what my why is and why I do this, and why I come out here, and why I spend all this time away from my family and dedicate all my time to these young men. What's the why? What am I trying to get out of it? Am I trying to be recognized as a coach, or am I trying to touch lives? And it kind of really just reconnects me with my purpose of why I do this, and why I love being here at this school and working with these young men, is because they motivate me to work my butt off to see them succeed. And like you said to them, which was something that just really encouraged me, was making sure that when I'm dead and gone, that I got a legacy, that I have some young men that can at one point sometime down the road say that that guy said something or did something that really impacted my life and helped me.
Well, Coach, thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to be able to coach you, come here and do my little coaching with the athletes, and be a part of your program and motivate and intrigue these athletes of the next generation. I want to hand you a book. It's called The Man Behind the Helmet. It's forward by Coach Tony Dungy. It's my life story. I want to get that to you because I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to have a platform to talk to your student athletes. Thank you, Coach.
So much. Thank you.